can you tell us about yourself? I know you give me all the praises and narration in the book. I did too. But can you tell us about, your a brief background of you, starting from Adan all the way to Singapore and other places you've gone? Tell us about it a little bit. Let's fill you.
All right. Like you said, my name is Richard Ofoe Kugblenu, and I hail from a very humble village in Adan called Tokope. And I was actually born here in Accra, and I schooled to a point. And my dad was troubled at that time. He came back and he said, no, you need to go and familiarize yourself with the village. You must know your roots. So he took me there as a lover of nature, a lover of his native people, a lover of his native land. He took me there to have the opportunity to get to know my people, know their culture, study the language, get to speak it. And I tell you, I went there, school there from JHS, and then through to SHS, still in the village. And then right after SHS, I decided to explore a bit. I can't be there forever. So I need to explore and see what's happening in other parts of Ghana.
Right.
So I came to Accra, and right from secondary school, I came to Accra. I wanted to do further studies. I went to the Institute of Management Studies in Accra, Accra Newtown to be precise. And that's where I did management studies. I did some management studies, and then I heard somebody one day on a radio. He was speaking the Queen's language in a certain way. And I said, oh, that's beautiful. I drew a lot of inspiration from that. And then I said, oh, if this is the case, let me also go and try my luck. So I walk into the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Maybe I should reserve this one when I get to the point where how I got into journalism. Then I will lift the lead on how it all happened. But in GBC, I decided to add value to myself. So I've all along been looking for opportunity to be able to do that. So I had the opportunity came along, and I went to Cardiff Metropolitan University in the UK. That's where I did my undergrad, my first degree, and business administration. So I did part of the course too in Malaysia. So I have been in Asia for some time. I finished, I came back home, and there was still that yearning within my spirit to add more knowledge, to be able to expand my scope of understanding and be able to grab issues and put more things into perspective. I wanted to be analytical, critical of what is happening in my space. So I looked for another opportunity to top up what I already got. So National University of Singapore came calling, and I seized, in fact, I grabbed the opportunity with both hands. And I went there to do my master's in public administration. And it's been a very, very exciting experience for me. I had the opportunity to do some presentations in Thailand. I did a few trips to Japan where I got to interact with some policy think tanks. They led me into some of the inspirations behind some of the policies that they have in Japan when it comes to poverty alleviation or poverty eradication, when it comes to education, the policies backing them, and how it's able to make a difference, a positive impact within their context. So it has given me a broader perspective on how some of these things work. So in brief, I would say that this has been the journey for me. And I came back to the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. I am a host. I do drive time on Unique FM, a drive time host on Unique FM, and I do morning show hosting on Obonu TV. And it's one of the things I love to do, because that gives me a direct attachment to my native people. It gives me the opportunity to be able to inspire a lot more people, lift them up of the doldrums for them to also see the light at the end of the day. You know, if you know the area, you know how people are not able to come up education-wise, you know, so it's my dream to always try and get in touch with the people and do my bit to be able to lift them up from the doldrums. So basically, that's about me.
Yeah. Okay. So before we dive into how you get into the journalism, I just wanted to ask you because a lot of people, when they get opportunity to travel abroad, they decided to stay. What made you return?
That's an interesting one. Well, I love my country, Ghana, first and foremost. And like I said, it has always been one of my major objectives to be able to help others add value to themselves. And it will interest you to know that there are so many people walking around. All they need, the little they need, is just somebody to broaden their perspectives, somebody to show them the light, somebody to just direct their steps, and they will be able to achieve something great.
Right.
So I took a bold decision. Yes, I would have decided to stay abroad and do my own thing. Most definitely, with some little level of education, you may be able to find something good for yourself. But
Mm-hmm.
I decided to come home to help in my own little way, brighten the corner where I came from.
Right. God bless you for that. So,
Thank you.
who really inspired you to, get into journalism and, go further and further? Do you have a family member who once upon a time was a journalist or a broadcaster, or tell us about that?
Well, journalism, I know, is one of the major tools when it comes to it's an essential tool when it comes to development.
Mm-hmm.
And how it does that is that it is able to throw the spotlight on some of the things that people have neglected. It could be a community that people are not seeing their struggles. It could be an individual that is hidden somewhere with a huge talent and nobody knows of. So journalism is used as an essential tool to be able to expose some of these people to the light. And when it comes to the area of maybe politics, journalism plays a major role in that aspect because journalism throws the light on what should be done. What are the policies that government is espousing to be able to lift people up, to be able to add value to people, to be able to get people educated? It is journalism that throws the spotlight on these things to be able to lift people up. So growing up, I think if I really wanted to add value to people, if I really want to affect that individual in that little village, which I haven't been to, if I really want people to get inspired, it would be great. It will interest you that when I go on radio, my first lines are aspire to acquire the desire you admire. And that should, even in the process, you misfire. You don't retire. Rather, you refire. For you have a Messiah who lifts you higher. You perspire if need be, and you don't ever retire. And I can tell you that through some of these utterances, through some of these sayings, some more lives are affected. I get people attached to me. So I pick journalism right from scratch because I know it's an amazing tool. It's a wonderful tool that will do exploits when you decide to use it in a very positive way. So yes, I, upon my going to GBC, yes, I had certain hurdles. One of the hurdles was I had somebody in mind I wanted to go and talk to, so he could pave the way for me. Immediately I got there, the person was like, "Oh, my brother, go home and sleep. There is an embargo. Yes, there is an embargo on employment in GBC, so go home and sleep." So I don't know, maybe luck was on my side. Immediately I exited the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
I exited the premises. I met an old man I knew from nowhere. An old man I knew from nowhere. And he looked at me, he said, "Young man, come over." I drew closer to him and he said, I don't like your countenance. What is the problem? So I narrated my issue to him. He said, oh, relax. I am going to help you. So he introduced me to one guy and voila.
The right
Something,
time at the right place.
oh yes, and it happened. So that is also an indication that people need people to rise.
Right.
So I have made it an objective that no matter what, I'm going to strategically position myself by way of radio and television to affect people positively. And I can tell you that I meet people, even this afternoon, I meet people who say, oh, when I listen to you and I go to my books, I'm able to study very well. When I listen to you, I feel so inspired that I can achieve anything under the sun, and that has been my drive for all these while. Yeah, that's it.
So now that we have so many mediums, to be, platform, easy accessible to be a pocket journalism and stuff. Have you had any regrets of going into journalism?
Not at all. I don't have a shred of regret,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think I'll have any regret ever. If indeed I have been of any importance to society, I will credit all to my practice as a journalist, my practice as a broadcast journalist. And I feel I, I feel always inspired to do more. So no shred of regret at all.
Okay. So
Mm.
if I may ask, why did you are very articulate, you can do so many, you have so many opportunities, that you can learn somewhere else, apart from journalism, and or now there are opportunity to build your own platform. Why did you decided to have a morning drive show at Obonu TV?
Keymama.
Because Obonu
Yes,
TV has become like, sorry to say, but I'm being honest, you hardly hear of Obonu TV. It's not like comparing to other stations that maybe you can jump into it. I don't want to mention names. Obonu TV has been a low key. And the question is, why did you decide to be at Obonu? And why Obonu is like a low key in the mainstream media?
well, the medium by which Obonu TV, let me say the language that we use is Ga-Dangme. Yes, maybe I can speak some considerable English. I can speak some considerable English. I have so much love for my people. I feel that is the best way to
Mhm.
keep in touch with my people. Language is very, very important, and language identifies you. You see, today you walk into some organizations with CEOs who are Dangmes. You go into their office and you know that this person can speak the Dangme language. But immediately you start, they'll say, stop. I don't speak that language. Meaning
Hey,
they don't want to come. Yes, I'm telling you, they will not even mind you, and I don't know. I feel something is missing somewhere. Yes, you go, you see some very, very high profile personalities who are from Adan, who are from Ningo, who are from Pram Pram, who are from Asesewa. I mean, Dangbe areas, but you see them and they act and behave like they are not close to Dangbe people in any way.
wow.
Which for me is an unfortunate thing. And it's in a way, we are denigrating and belittling our own language. So I chose that I want to be at Obonu. There are so many people working with Obonu TV and Obonu FM who are very learned, they are highly educated, But maybe they have the commitment that I have, that we need to uphold our own. We need to brighten our own corner. We need to get in touch with our own people. You know, when government policies are out there, people want to hear things in their language. People want to understand. And the best way to do that is to communicate with them in a language that they are familiar with. Yeah. So it is not accidental that I find myself at Obonu TV or Obonu FM. It's a deliberate choice. It's a choice that I made, that I want to impact my people in a very positive way. And I think it's good. I have no regrets at all.
That's good to hear, because now we all, driving our fellow brothers and sisters to come out, like you said, somebody from the Dangme area or Ga, once they get to a higher level of position, then they pretend like me no speak Ga, me no speak Dangme. But
which is very unfortunate.
Yeah,
you see, because Keymama, if you are up there and you are speaking your language and you make the people from your little village proud that I was once in this village and I got to where I am today, they will get inspired that they can do the same. Right. And when you do that, you know what you are doing? You are helping alleviate poverty. You are helping lift people up from the jaws of poverty. You are freeing people's minds. You are encouraging them to do mighty things, to add value to themselves. So I want to encourage somebody today that if you are fond of doing such, you need to actually stop it and let the people know that I'm from a little village. Like I said, I am a proud Adam from a very tiny island village called Pediatokopi in Bigada. That is where I came from. And it wouldn't take anything from me, it wouldn't take anything from me. Yes. And I think we should emulate that. The more you climb higher, you are from that little village and you climb higher, you help, even from a distance, you help others in that village know that they have a potential. They are capable of also climbing up.
That's true. You become a good role model for them to look after and be proud of, such, place that way I come from, Patukope,
exactly.
Kabia, where I come from this, I come from that. I'm trying to learn the names. Don't worry, I'll catch up with everything. But I'm trying with the language, both Ga and Dangme. I'm learning. I'll get there. Don't worry. Soon you come. I'll be very fluent with the Dangme.
Oh yes, I'm ready to teach you anyway.
Okay. So I'll take that. What do you think, or why is it the Dangme or Ga-Dangme radio houses or station are struggling to come out? They're having some challenges that I know, and I think what are some of the challenges, and what can be done to overcome or rectify those challenges? I know you don't even know where to start from, huh?
There are several challenges that we face in here. You stated one. The fact that somebody gets a degree or gets a master's, the person thinks the only place to function is maybe at the bank or become a politician or do something else. So one of the key challenges that we have now is that there are so many people who are shunning away from the language. They are shunning away from the language. Now, the reason is this. I have been, from my studies, I gathered that it gets to a point that if the language transmission, from generation to generation, there are certain key factors that can encourage it. And if attention is not paid to those factors, what happens is that the language loses value. And that will eventually lead to the death of the language. And Ga and Dangme, we have some languages that are swallowing us. If you recall, our colonial masters, when they came, one of the legacies they left for us is English.
Mm-hmm.
So those who are in the higher class, socio-economic class, what they do is that they want their children to speak English. You see? To speak English. And once upon a time, people did not see the value of education, but it got to a point that we were all exposed to the significance of education. So a lot of people jumped in and they are getting education. So if you look at the economic brackets, there are people who are up there, their children they are not bilingual in any way.
Right.
All they do is speak English. And key challenges that these stations are facing is that unlike the Akan stations, our people are not willing to support. It's a hard truth. Our people are not willing to support. Like the accounts jumping on board and say, oh, I have an advert, I have a promotion I want to do. So they quickly run to their account stations and say, oh, this is the only place I want to do it. The Ga-Dangme stations, the Ga and Dangmes don't come to us. You know where they run to? They run to their account stations if they have a promo to do. It's the truth. You see, it's your own money. But if you have your own language at heart, you will go to them. But because they don't have the language at heart and they feel the language is losing its value, they run to other stations. And it's a key challenge. Money is the fuel that runs a lot of organizations. If the money is not there, people will not be willing to work there. That is why somebody gets his first degree, his master's, and will shun away from Ga-Dangme stations. They will shun away from Ga-Dangme stations because they feel that there's no match there. If I work there, I will be paid a paltry sum, and that wouldn't suffice me and my family. So let me look elsewhere.
Right.
It's a key challenge. Another challenge is that there are the Ga-Dangme stations. What kind of effective promotions do we do? What kind of programs, what kind of content do we churn out? These are some of the challenges we have. The best contents are driven by a huge financial support. That support is not there. So the content where I should go to the villages, dig up the stories and bring it on the screen for people to see, the push is not there. So our stories are always submerged. Our stories are always down there. They are not coming up.
Okay.
These are some of the challenges we are facing. And it's a fact. So if it is about it's hard time we all come together and begin to rally our people to see reason to support their own. When you say the account stations are swallowing the smaller languages like Ga and Dangme, yes, that will happen because they love their own and they want to promote it. Yes, they love their own, they want to promote it. We are in Accra. What do we see happening? Accra, they say now, it's a cosmopolitan area. There are several ethnic groupings here. And for that reason, in Accra schools now, the language that they teach is Twi. Meanwhile, it's Ga-Dangme, Greater Accra, Ga-Dangme. They teach Twi in our schools. When you go to Kumasi, it doesn't happen like that. The same tree is being taught in Kumasi, in the Ashanti region. We are teaching the same tree here. So there are several factors that are accounting for these things. I believe when our opinion leaders, when our chiefs, when our Ga people who have a high standing in society will come together and say, let's push our own, I believe things will work out. So narrowing it down to our stations, because people don't promote the language, they don't speak the language anymore in their homes, they wouldn't even like to listen to you. They wouldn't even like to watch Obonu TV or listen to Obonu FM.
Right.
Meanwhile, some of the contents that we churn out there are very solid, highly educative, and people will get inspired listening or watching some of those contents. And I'm saying that if we'll rally our people and we'll have a good support, we'll be able to do more.
That's why we are here.
Oh yes, Keymama is actually doing something great.
That's why we are here. Okay, let me break a little bit and give bring announcement out. In August, there are going to be Ga-Dangme homecoming.
Uh,
Yeah, August 9th. It's Ga-Dangme homecoming, and it's going to be. Uh, I don't know how to describe it, but wait and see. We
mm.
pray that this corona, doesn't stop us. We supposed to had it last year, but because of the coronavirus, we couldn't. So this year, God willing, August 9th. So if you live in the US area, you can contact me if you need more information. We will get some.
So August 9, where exactly would it be happening?
We will be all over. We will go to the Dangbe areas too. So I will send you all our program lineup. So
Okay.
you will know, and I know that you will talk about it too on the Bunu for.
Most definitely,
Yeah,
we'll
we are
promote it
coming
effectively.
massively. It's global, just not just from
Oh,
US, but it's global.
okay.
We're coming in August, so just bear it in mind. Um, the number to call is 929 240 2149. 929-240-2149. They said I talk too like slow, and that's how I talk. I try to scream sometimes, it doesn't work for me. Only when you make me mad, then I flare up a little bit. So kind of relax. Anyway, let me give a shout out to my viewers, my loyal viewers, Auntie Alberto, uh, a board member for the Keymama Foundation. She said, no, it's about confidence and knowing your language is good enough. It is about competing to be accepted by the West. Therefore, we abandon our culture. We are doomed if we don't teach our children our language and traditions. And she went on and said, we can all do our part through our words and kindness. It saddens me to see the children speaks English. And I also give a shout out to Emmanuel Okain, One You, the Magnificent.
Hey, one you.
Yeah, that's my man. So
Yeah.
this is what Auntie Alberta commented about it. So let's roll on. Also, it is said that one of the most intelligent but ungeared language in Ghana today is Ga-Dangme language. How
Mm.
can we use conscious journalism as a tool to preserve, promote, and encourage the speaking of this language?
Mm. Well, thank you very much. Um,
It's
yes,
really
conscious.
wounded.
I
Our
like the use.
language is wounded and endangered.
Yes, I like the use of the word conscious journalism.
Mhm.
That means a concerted effort at making sure something positive happens. There's a turnaround.
Right.
So I believe there are few things we can do. In fact, there are few things we can do and do it in a more impactful manner. You see, there was this program on Obonu FM, which was themed Ka Akwo. It's a quiz program which gets people together, students together, and they ask them various things about the Ga language, our culture. And for me, that program made a lot of impact. It made a tremendous impact in the Ga-Dangme communities.
Mhm.
That's one of the key things that we can do to really enhance and promote our language, get it out there. You see, we are looking at it as a joke, but this language is gradually being swallowed, is gradually dying out. You know, let me give you something I read by one I pick up from one researcher. His name is Batibu, and he lists demographic superiority, socioeconomic attraction, political dominance, and cultural forces among the causes of language shift, which eventually leads to the death of a language. You see, and all of these phenomena apply to the Ghanaian scene, where English, the language of the colonial masters, has exerted a lot of pressure on all the local languages, to the extent that a lot of children born to Ghanaians at the top of the socioeconomic ladder end up only speaking English in their homes.
Right.
Yes. So one of the key things we can do, and let me tell you that during those times when that program Kaka was effective on radio, it will interest you that a lot of children will gather around their radio just to listen to that program.
So it doesn't exist anymore?
Maybe it's there, but it's not as effective as before. I don't remember the last time I heard it. The last time I heard it, you know, those are some of the things we can do. Now, there is social media. How many of us are able to write impeccable Ga on social media? Once in a while, I see one, I read, and I like it. Impeccable Ga-Dangme on our social media platforms. It's only few. And you know, something happened that one of the investors, they created a platform for people who are interested in the language, in Ga-Dangme as a language, to come and enroll to do a degree in Ga-Dangme. The lecturers were begging. They were actually begging. They were on their knees begging people just to come and buy form, sometimes to come and take the form free after SHS, for them to just study Ghanaian language, Ga-Dangme to be precise. They don't get people. Why? Why is it that there is a sudden disinterest in our own language? Why? The big question is why? You know, why? You know, so one, we can create contents on our radio and televisions, very impactful contents. And like I said before, we would need people from the diaspora, people like Keymama. You are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
And I know you have a huge support, people like you. You see, you decided today to pick on what we can do for people to realize that we need our language to grow. We need our language to move from generation to generation. If we don't take care, you know, I was reading one research. According to the researcher, in 100 years to come, out of the 7,000 languages on earth, 7,000 languages that are spoken or more, about 4,000 or 5,000 will become extinct. Will you like your language to die? No. So there are various ways that we can promote our language. That we can promote our language. We need to encourage our young ones to speak the language. In fact, a lot of us are guilty of it, that we want our children to have a very firm background. We feel when you can speak impeccable English, you have a firm grasp of the English language, that is the only time you become competitive in the world. But you know, interestingly, when I was going to Ghana Broadcasting Corporation to seek for a job, one of the key things they look at is not my English, but rather my Ghanaian language. I did Dangme. And because I scored an A in Dangme, the interviewer told me that if you could get an A in Ghanaian language and an A in English, then it means that if we give you a script in English, you will be able to make your people understand it very well in their own language. And that was it was one of the key things, you know, they used to select me, you know. So there are several things we can do. Why don't we push for our children to start learning the language effectively? And another aspect which is worrying is that I've read several Dangme books. Wajomi Sanehikome. Wajomi Sanehikome. Very interesting read. Very interesting read. But you know, the authors of those books are gradually going away, and we need a replacement for them. Who are the people who are taking over the mantle to be able to author or write books in the Ga-Dangme language? There are some powerful Ga books, but where are the authors? Where they are all fading away. We need a generation that will also take over
That's true.
that task for them to say, oh, I also want to author a book in Ga or Dangme. And I think it will be fantastic. You know, so those are some of the key things we can do. Like Keymama, we are speaking English now. Yeah, we are speaking English. Maybe we could have next time we'll do it in Ga or Dangme.
Yeah, I do that on Tuesdays. Tuesdays is the Ga speaking. So
Okay.
yeah, so Wednesdays is the English and the other. I don't speak French.
Okay.
So
Okay.
because I have diverse followers and listeners, so and they request, oh, keep up because before I used to do tree, I speak more tree than everything. So I say, hey, since this corona is there, and we all distancing, maxing, we're rethinking because you have to claim who you are. You have to be proud. Like everybody knows me, I always dress like an African stuff. That's what I do. But
Yeah.
and I'm more fluent in the Akan language because I hang out with them. And I was like kind of missing out in the Sangli language or the Gan language. So I say, you know what can I do to help? So that's why I decided to start doing shows. I understand the family. I understand. Now, I made the announcement already that nowadays you don't have to worry. The children will come. Plenty of noise in school. Like you will see the noise. So we all understand. Everybody knows now. They will peep their head like,
Yeah, yeah.
so it's okay. Don't worry about it.
All right, thank you.
So I decided to start pushing it because, like you said, the hard truth. They don't support. They don't push our shows. And so, hey, this is media thing. You need followers. You need listeners. So the only way is that the area that people support and follow you, that's what you do. But I said to myself, I don't want to be like them. No matter what, I will work on the Ga-Dangme shows. If I get 2 or 3 people who listen to it, it is better than there's nothing at all. So that is the drive, that's why I start doing the Ga-Dangme show. And sometimes, I blend it, I interpret it in the key for them every now and then. But what you said before is like you hit the nail on the head that our Ga-Dangme people, they don't push our programs. And
Oh,
then
yes.
the same people who say, oh, our language is disappearing, our language is going, but do something in your own small way. So anyway, don't let me take over your, very much. So what are some of the ways that we can encourage our youth, our younger people to enter into journalism, content developers, producers, directors, video editors? What can we do in our own small way? Because I know everything is money, finance, money, 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 money. What are some of the stuff? Like I said, next Tuesday, I'm going to talk about some of our tolls that we collect in the Ga-Dangme land. What do they use the money for? So it's going to be on Tuesday. So, based on what I have said, just table it down. What are some of the things that we can do to help our younger fellows coming up to encourage them, motivate them? A lot of people, younger people walking around, they're very talented in these areas, but they need a push. How can we fish them out? And what are some of the way we can raise funds or find grants for them to pursue it?
Thank you very much. I think one of the very key statements you made right from scratch is that in the context where you are, everything is work.
Yeah.
Everything is work. Whatever you decide to do, people see it as something of value, and they patronize it, and you also earn your daily bread from there.
Right.
I think one of the key things we should start doing now is to throw the spotlight on our language, let people know the value that could be gained from that. You see, once upon a time, I was the MC, I was the host of a reality show dubbed Kasapreku Omanyaba. It was a very beautiful show, a show that the people were tasked. There were various groupings from the various Ga-Dangme areas, and they were tasked to go deep into history and come and enact some of the histories behind where they are coming from. How do you do outdooring? How do you do the traditional way of doing things? Wow. You know, marriage, engagement, and it was so colorful and beautiful. It was above all very insightful, you know, and people watched it and they became so moved that, oh, so we have a culture like this and we are relegating it to the background and we are accepting somebody else's culture, you know. So I am very optimistic that if we should get people to understand what we have, the value of what we have, how do we project it out there, you know, for people to see it and appreciate it and would like to use their money, you would like to support with their finances. I think that's the major task now. How do we do that? And the moment we are able to accomplish that, I believe young men and women will say that, oh, there's something here. There's something here. How do we begin to encourage our young men and women to begin to write Ga-Dangme effectively? Once upon a time, when I pick a Dangme book, I'm able to read it very well to the admiration of everybody around me. And I still do. You know, I still do. I read it very impeccably. You know, Dangme. Oh, no struggle at all. There's that perfect flow. That's my language.
Right.
You know, I wish we could go back to those days where our children learn the language with that flair, with that, I mean, freely, you know, without any compulsion. Now they are being compelled. So, Keymama, we would need to do more. We would need our opinion leaders to come into the picture. We would need our chiefs and our queens to come together and say, this is our own. You know, above all, you see, whatever culture we have, whatever we do in a very special way, the only thing that embalms, that holds together that culture is our language. The only thing that holds that culture together is our language. So we will need to really protect it. If we don't protect it, it will ebb away. It will go away. One day there wouldn't be Ga and there wouldn't be Dangme. And you and I wouldn't like to witness that. So it's about time we come out of our shells and say, let's do something. Let's do something. Let's go to our schools. Those of us who can encourage, say, I want you to employ Ga teachers. We want you to employ Ga teachers. We'll foot the bill. We'll be able to push those who are interested. All Ga children must learn Ga. All Ga-Dangme children must, in a way, understand their language, understand and speak their language. I believe when we get there, you know, and have a proper structure and policy to it, it will work very well.
Becky Tete said, good afternoon, Manny. I don't know that. Anyway, thank you very much. And I think we dive in a lot. I'm going to change my tongue now. Well, wo keha oblahin ko blaye. Igi gadang baby. Ya men kwa wongmene. Ni ekome. Etron amehie tafla che keha drugs.
Oh.
Ni efe tomo hie no kamo eta. Okay, I may give up. Mini nga wo oyo ke ha ame. Eja ke nani wo wie blofo emi he no joba. Ta fla che he ko fiu. Shimene nabo. Mi hu eni nje he ko fiu mene nami. Nte ahu mene nami. Ewo blofo eni wo wie kete ke ba fe ekuku dia ke Ga-Dangme. Mini ji wo way forward. Ke ha wo wie mo. Ke ha wo bi ni amedencha me efi amaka ma nye na mefi. Na me fe ni bi ne sa na eko me hu ipa wo wie mo mini nga wo oyo ke ha.
Ora don bebi ke otashi ino kongbona ni ona higbe alo ifi ogwa ke onye oge mukwa agba hisanie ko kwe ni anye ike na agba wulu ke icho gbamo ni baba ya bu bebi ni wo je sale gba na sisi nke moko ye nílẹ̀ no ni eta wo peji gbechon mo no ni eta wo peji ko wo lo aya bi aloke oke o ya school ko ke o ya university ni akase ni mini poten o to ni akase ele no ni akase choose of course ku keke e ja ke be mo ku ni ba chon le gbe ake boni oyo ke osumo ene osumo subject ne ko lo osumo maths osumo science osumo ene ko ya fi ne ba yo bo abu blofo me je no me pe ameko osuban le hu ameko osu ikomeni oji opo nya ko bo ake ko ya fi course ne ke wo se ba yo bo abu ba nyo ke fi no ko wu ewo enye me Ga-Dangme me akeko ote oyata salon ni akun oitwe ni owie be boni baba sumo na ka ba kunle abu keke ko ya ko nye ya ahwe mi ko na ke itwe na ni akun ami na le isumo kra ewo ke wotashi ni wo wie mo ni ji Ga-Dangme howe ya ni wo ha ni wo bi akase wo ha ni wo bi hie amehie be wo de nche wo mfe wo he wa de nche ewo e ba hia ni wonye ni wo pele wo hingme ni wonye wo ye ogwa wo ti amengo me wo ye higbe wo ye gbe na ni wo ba nye wo ye ogwa Ga-Dangme wa de nche ko kwe tafache wonye nye me wonye me fi me ake ame ayoda aka ame wa mehi
Ano kwale.
ni ame ya no ojo bang ni wo hu ke gbomoko ahun ni asemwe ko tale ko de nche ko tale lebu elebu shinga be bi ejeshika ni o ke bonne ba wo kutuku ni ba je hamoku ji no ni chon ake ofe no ku shin moko baba ni ko le gbe chon mo keke ko fe ne e ba ye ogbo abu ko le ake bo fun me no ni acho le mentorship amekese
Ano kwale.
amekese mini wa amekese ja ke money ba mentor go na kan gbomo gbe ni o ta oni o chono e chona kan gbe no mu ewo e ba nye kudobu e ba nye ke bo ake ko fe ne ene ji no ni ba je mi ba ha bu ewo wonye megame no Ga-Dangme me no ni nya wo aji ekume fie mu ni ko na ke onye mi ya hie ni piamo ke wa mo ni sa o ke ba ha me sa no wonye wo fe ko o te he ku ni o na ke ole no ku inte Ga-Dangme me anichumo he me ni yo je fe twi ayo yi le amedien cha me nichumo Ga-Dangme nyu nichumo akele denje e man bi he amewo nichumo bonu isi ina wadenje eji anukwale kunisa ni wonye wo wi cho ake wo wa wo he Ona higbe. Oya tahiko. Onye me ni Ga-Dangme, Ga-Dangme me ni ba moame. Ebenke boy. Ina anoni wani wanye wafe na kai. Ina anoni wani wanye wafe na kai. Keymama. Be neji be ni sani wana shishinubo. Ni wameni wayo higbe ni wabanye wo ha wanye me yelike bo amo wanye wafe na kai. Ni inyehimu ka yeli ageke wamfe na kai. Echencho. Woywe mo ba amashi. Wo ba na mempie wote ni nchuni ni ba ye obua bona ni se kwe akate ate yala ko yeku ama wo na ngrofio na te yala moko kenye mme ni ameba ake o yala ne nye ba ha wo 50,000 Ghana cedi se yo kenye mme ni amebote amechonde mi no meneke 5,000 ba meneke 10,000 ba meneke ene ba no ana 50,000 ne ake ha weku ekum ba aka me nwa me ba 30,000 ama ache no ha me ameka ha me 6 months
Yes.
bonus shin no ni yo mi ji ake na kan family ni nye epe na kan 50,000 amro amewa me mo fia mo ntunoku ewo ke o ke mo fia mo ntunoku ka akpe ye hia ne ke meneke fiuba no keke mini eba shika ana no agaba akawo shika future ewo isake wonye wo ye ogbu awoyi ni ke wo pekutuwe obanye wo jie ni wo ha ni wo ye ogbu ni wo Ga-Dangme ho anya machine ojugba ni wo na me wuji ye wote
If you pepe hanimanga nyaminu ni Ghana ji mokoni enofiana na afio Ga-Dangme show a show tobani ko kenye na Ga-Dangme show bi ane or movement there jake one drive fe na you Ga-Dangme we mo ye one push na kind no fiano no ba fe ke Ga-Dangme we mo afutumi no fiano e wo fio ke mo ko ba bi po ake mene wie money eke bo mo ba chon mo ba educate mo ake wo ne ke wie money ni Ghana ke the time has come to get close to our brothers and sisters to change the narratives. It's true. Ewa no jina ni mani watashi ni wakegbiona na enye minu minda boshi ojogba keji oya closing remarks before you leave. You are welcome.
I would like to say thank you very much.
But don't forget, this is not going to be the first and the last time. So just keep it in mind.
Thank you very much. I want to say thank you very much for the yeoman's job. I think you are doing something great for Mother Ghana and for Ga-Dangme in particular. And I would like to say more power to your elbows. And once again, I want to make a very special appeal to our people in the diaspora. This is our homeland. Just like we say in our national term or national pledge, make our country great and strong. Yes, great and strong. That means that even if it comes to our Ga-Dangme, our various ethnic groupings, it depends on us. It behoves on us to make our groups or our language great and strong. The onus lies on us. It is high time that we started coming together and then we pull the necessary strings and make sure that Ga-Dangme becomes glorious. Because if it becomes glorious, you know what happens to us? People will see us and say, oh, you are doing something great. I like Ga-Dangmes. You know, this is Accra, Greater Accra. We are coming from Greater Accra. If we are talking Greater Accra, who should be the first people to be mentioned? We should be the first people should be mentioned. Why are we losing that glory? You know, those are the pertinent questions we should ask. Why are we losing that glory? What are we not doing right? You know, so we need to brainstorm and come out with ways by which we can all come together and make sure we shine the light on Ga-Dangme. Sometimes they make certain appointments, certain political appointments. You ask yourself, where is the Ga-Dangme in there? It's heartbreaking. It's heart-rending. You read some, you see some, and say, so where are our people? Why are we not, they don't factor us in the scheme of things. It's heartbreaking, seriously. You see, so I spoke about mentorship earlier. It is time that our people must begin to pick others, people amongst us with potential, nurture them, mentor them. It's not all about money. It's about the seed, what is within you. You plant it in them. You show somebody some direction. Tell them there are people with talents. There are people who can sing very well. There are people who can play football very well. There are people who can do this journalism thing so effectively. There are people who can even do farming very well. But where is the support? Right. Who is mentoring them? Who is showing them the way? So we need to shine the light on our own. And I'm sure that will make us great and strong.
Thank you very much, Mr. Richard Ofoe Kugblenu. I get it.
Yes.
Thank you very much once again. And I know my lovely viewers and listeners really enjoy this program. Like I said, today will not be the last time or the first. We will see you again. And thank you very much coming on Keymama Show. I am the voice for the voiceless. And don't worry, I'll give you one of my keys. Since you're on this show, I'll call you after the show and I'll deliver the key to you. So thank you once again and stay safe and say hello to the family. God bless you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Okay. Thank you very much, lovely viewers. Our program has come to an end. And don't forget, April 24th, we have the African Most Beautiful coming on. If you have a young woman who's the age from 18 to 26, you are welcome to, register. Go to www.africanmostbeautifulusa.com and register. It comes with a fee. If you hit with a fee and you feel like you're challenged, don't worry. Just call Keymama 929-240-2149. And maybe, just maybe, I'm not promising, but I might find somebody to sponsor you. So do not hesitate. Just make the first step, and that will get you where you don't even expect to be. God bless you once again, and see you next week, same time on Keymama Show. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.